The Bad Boy's Guide to the Galaxy. There's my bookmark. I'm about to read for you. Alright. Let me sit up somewhere for you to look upon me. There we go. I think that should do. Wait. There. There. Okay. Chapter 1. Sam Jones stepped on the elevator and pushed the button. His life was about to change for the better. Rest and relaxation, here I come. His only worries were going to be if the fish were biting and there was gonna be enough beer in the fridge. He didn't want to think about the bad guys on the streets of Dallas. Hell, he and Nick had put away one of the biggest kingpins in the city and gotten commendations from the captain and the mayor. With the help of Kia, of course, he couldn't leave her out. Man, she was something else. Nick had all the luck. But they had to be extra careful where she was concerned. They'd shielded her from the press as much as possible. At the time, she'd come off as a happy but beautiful fiancée and nothing more. But then she didn't look like an alien. She didn't really look like an alien from the planet Narak. Now it was vacation time. He'd gone months without a decent day off, and he had a little two-bedroom cabin in the piney woods of East Texas, calling his name. He could almost smell the fish frying. When the elevator stopped, he got off, whistling a jaunty tune as he strolled to Nick's apartment. Another 15 minutes and he'd be on his way. He tapped on the door. Nick opened it, then frowned when he saw who it was. "Hey, buddy." Sam grinned. Nick slammed the door. Now that wasn't nice. And after everything he'd done for his friend. "Hey, did I say anything? Hey, did I say anything when you were on your honeymoon?" "No, not one word. And I had to partner with Hank and Shank." Oh, very creative. "The man never bathes." "No, Hank the Shank, okay. He could stink a dog off a gut wagon." What? "At least you're working with Trudy." The door opened. Nick glared at him. "You think Trudy's better than Hank?" Sam stepped inside. "No," he chuckled. "You just have to tune her out. The woman never shuts up. But at least with Hank, I could roll the window down. Yeah. If I tune her out, then she pokes me in the ribs." He grimaced. "The last time I worked with her, I carried bruises for a solid week." "I'll be back before you know it." Yeah. Nick could complain all he wanted, but Sam was leaving on vacation and nothing was going to stop him. He dug in his pocket. Here are the keys to my apartment. He dropped them in Nick's open hand. Just put them. Just put the mail on the table. You're too damn happy about all this, Nick grumbled. His deep sigh was full of contentment. Why shouldn't I be? I haven't had any time off in 6 months, at least none to speak about. I'm ready for a little fishing, tossing back a few beers, and a whole lot of peace and quiet. There's nothing like my cabin in the springtime. Kia from Kia came from the back of the apartment. All four of her Shih Tzus followed her, following right on her heels. You'd think they were her babies, but they were trailed after her. Sam, I don't know. I didn't know you were here, she said, smiling. I was dropping off the keys to my apartment, he told her. He couldn't stop his grin from forming when he thought of all the hell she'd put Nick through. He was glad everything had worked out, but he'd take single life any day. Okay. He looked around at the garish colors. He looked around at the garish colors on the apartment walls. By the way, I like what you've done with the apartment. Very psychedelic with the hot pinks and the bright greens. Did Nick help you decorate? Nick shot him a look that said he was not amused. Sam kept his expression innocent, not that he thought Nick bought it. I did it while Nick was at work, Kia told him. It was a surprise. Boy, was I surprised, Nick muttered, then quickly smiled at Kia. You did a wonderful job. I loved it. All our friends are envious. Oh, good. I was thinking about doing our bedroom next. Sam smothered a laugh. If he didn't watch out, Nick would be poking him in the ribs. You're leaving for your cabin? Kia asked. He nodded as one of the pups jumped up, begging for attention from Nick. Have a good time. Try to relax, Nick said. Oh, I was like, I thought the the editor forgot about something. Okay. Have a good time and try to relax. Nick said you don't relax enough. He said you should learn to bend the rules a little and let your hair down. She studied him for a moment before looking at Nick, then back to him. I think that must be a figure of speech, since your hair isn't long enough to let down. Wait. He also said that you needed to get laid. Are you tired of standing? She went on to the kitchen, not waiting for an answer. I'm not a bit tired, Sam called after her. I think Nick needs to worry about his own life rather than mine. He looked pointedly at his friend. And I do bend the rules. I just don't warp them completely out of shape like you do. Nick cleared his throat and reached down for the pup. He picked up the ball of black and white fur, rubbing rubbing her behind the ears. For a man who'd sworn he'd never have a grilly dog, Nick had changed his mind pretty fast. Yes. Water time. And Nick thought he needed fixing. He did sort of feel bad about. He did sort of feel bad leaving Nick and Trudy. Try to follow the rules while I'm gone, and I'll try to bend them a little. Nick grins. You think I won't follow? What are you doing? Levi, I am trying to read this male's fantasy book that's written for women. Close the door. Thank you. Okay, where was I? They both knew the answer to that. Hell no. Nick shrugged. I can't be like you. Life wasn't meant to be a point A to point B. Sometimes you have to veer off the track to see what else life has to offer. That's why I worry about you, Nick. While I'm taking a little R&R, I won't be there to keep you out of trouble. Like Kia says, try to relax. Oh, like Kia says, try to relax. You deserve it. I'll keep my nose clean. Promise. Sam chuckled. I always relax at the cabin. You know me. I'm a natural-born explorer. Okay. He could easily see himself traversing across new terrain and undiscovered lands. If I'd been born 100 years or so ago, I might have discovered all kinds of new countries. Before Nick could comment, a loud rumble shook the apartment. Thunder? Strange. He glanced out the window, but the sky looked bright and blue. Oh no! Kia rushed back to the living room, her face a shade paler. There we go. She grabbed the pup from Nick and hurried into the bedroom. The other 3 puppies followed. What is it? Nick called after her. Sam had never seen her this upset, except maybe when Nick had gotten shot. What was going on? She hurried back into the living room after shutting the pups in the bedroom. The elders! I know the sound of their crafts. I won't let them take you, Nick said. His expression grim. We've been through too much already. No one is going to come between us. Her smile looked a little wobbly. I told you that I wouldn't go back to Narak. But sometimes we don't have a choice in what we want. She drew a deep breath. It sounds like they're landing on the roof. We'd better meet them. I'm not staying behind, Nick said and followed. Damn. After all these 2 had been through, This was the last thing that they needed. They quickly took the stairs to the roof. And I'm leaving it off there because I'm tired of reading. Alright, we'll continue at some point. I promise. If you liked, leave a like. If you did not, don't. I don't care. Have a good one.